Woo! What's up, everybody? It's Jeremy here. I'm ocean bound and I'm going in a hunt. So let me set the scene here, all right? About a month ago, I started paddling at my flat water spot again. And I quickly realized that I'd made a big mistake. I sold my 1675. And that was like my gateway to being able to paddle up on the flat. And so I got the 1350, and once I was able to kind of paddle that up on the flat, I was like, it's good. The 1675's on the chopping block. I'm doing a natural progression, and I'm stoked. And I was able to get that to a friend of mine for a decent price, and I was stoked to be able to like pass on the joy of enormously big lifty foils. Well, a month ago, I was totally cursing myself because I got out in the water and I tried to do a couple flat water sessions, and because of like life, I guess in general, my paddling game had just like been totally neglected. My muscles, my power, my stamina or endurance, I mean, it just wasn't as good as I remembered. And so that 1350 was doable, but it just took a lot of work. So I made a pact with myself. I was gonna go and paddle on the flat at least once a week throughout the winter, preferably 1.5 times a week on average. That whole plan crumbled so quick when I got sick. And dude, I just got so sick the past couple weeks, like COVID sick, right? You know, my body ached and I had headaches for like over a week straight. And so yeah, I was like getting better, but my body was just thoroughly destroyed. I had this like lingering cough and my energy reserves were just like totally depleted. And so it just took a while for me, you know, over like 3 weeks to start to build up some potential energy again. And then to add on top of it, it's been cold, like -5, -6 degrees Celsius. And with that, there's just no motivation to get out and start the training back up. So that brings us to today. It's like the first day that it's been above freezing in 2 weeks. And we're talking it's like 2 or 3 degrees Celsius. So it's like I was actually out without my jacket on and I felt warm today. That's how cold it's been. So we're talking like no wind today, little waves, you know, 3-foot waves and the hot. So I might as well just jump in and have some fun on waves, right? My plan is to ride a new foil, one I haven't really talked about that much, the DWP930. It's got a little bit more wingspan than the HA 1180 or the HA 1080, and its aspect ratio is 13 versus 9.6 for both of those. It's sexy, I'll give it that, and I've ridden it, you know, a couple times now on flat water with the wing, and just like kind of nothing sessions. So I'm totally stoked to try it under paddle power. My guess is it's gonna be similar to my 1180 as far as turning goes, because it's about the same wingspan, which is fine. I think the 1180 can turn fine for what it is, you know, and I'm hoping it's gonna pump as well, if not better. I'm assuming it's gonna be a faster pump. And yeah, that's it. Coming back from being on the brink, and I'm feeling good, you know. These waves should be good to get back kind of into the flow of things. It's definitely gonna be more interesting than hitting the flat water, and it's finally over freezing. So adding a new foil to throw into the mix, let's cross our fingers that we can get out on some waves, and let's see if we can, you know, kind of pump back off the back of one and see how this 930 feels. Fingers crossed that we can connect a wave. That'd be the ultimate, you know. I'm shooting low today because my expectations, they shall not be high after such a crazy couple weeks. So here we go, totally stoked, off to Rock Nahant. Let's flip this around and see how the beach is. Let's go. So 930, 1180. It's interesting. Overhangs by that much. The leading edge, it comes out a little bit more on the corners here, so it's like a straighter profile. The leading edge basically matches up to the 1180, maybe a little behind it in the middle. So yeah, this is gonna be cool. It's so much thinner. It's got some pretty wicked, it's not all camber, but the shape to the wing is really interesting. We're doing 140. 140 no shims. Go. It's pitchy. Woo! What an evening! This foil was really interesting. Totally different than I thought it was going to be. It's pitchy, but that's probably because I had the 140 tail on. I can only imagine the 120 would be like way pitchier. I just want to surf with this one a lot more to get used to it. I would have come out more victorious, triumphant if I had used the 1180, but it's nice to challenge yourself. Woo, super stoked. Okay, I'm gonna put the camera away and let's go get warm in the car. Here we go. Bye. All right, so I was thinking that the 930 and the 1180 would be kind of comparable when it came to lift. So what I found out there was that it would go on foil okay, but then it felt very pitchy. I wasn't really ready for that, and I couldn't really tell exactly what it was first. Now granted, I was using the 140 dart stab with 0 shims. I feel like I could use the 180 stab. It would give me a little more grip. Now, there were two phenomenon out there. There was the pitchiness, which I did eventually get over, and then there was, I don't know if I can articulate this, but it was like a squishy side to side feeling. Now my guess is that that's because it's a really wide foil, but there's not a lot of lift way out on the edges, so it doesn't give necessarily a bunch of traction. And then when you couple it with like the 140 tail, it's just like there's not a lot of traction going on out there. Traction's not the right word for it, but I definitely didn't feel super locked in when I was on a wave. It's definitely a foil that you can ride waves with, but it's not the foil that I'm used to riding waves with, so it was definitely awkward. It glided pretty good. I would say 3 waves I tried to, like, you know, kind of go off a wave and pump back out, and I felt like I kept losing height, and that's obviously just something that I need to work on. My best pump was when I was like, I'm done and this is my last wave, and I was like riding in. I outran the wave, and then I was just I was still pumping and pumping and pumping, and I was like, oh, this thing, like, I was like, this thing feels great to pump, especially like while I'm going with the waves. There was just something about it that just, that's the first time that I was like, ah, okay, this is cool. So I'm stoked to go back out there on it, but it was definitely like a surprise. I don't know why I thought it would be so similar to the 1180, but it's definitely got a lot of quirkiness to it. On a day like today, for a bigger win, I should have gone out on that 1180, but you know what? This is scientific, and we're trying to make some forward progress here, and I feel like we made some forward progress today. Thanks so much for watching, everyone. I really appreciate it. If you want to see some more of my videos and you haven't done so already, you can always click that subscribe button. I would just like to say goodbye 2024. It's been an interesting year. I'm looking forward to 2025 and all of the things that it brings. I hope all of you are doing well out there. I'll see you soon on the flip, and I wish you all an awesome day. Later.